This is Room 356 with Claire, Chris, Marshall, and Justice. In this room, there's room for every topic. Let the debate begin.
Christianity versus Islam, you have birth versus abortion, and then you have guns versus no guns. Those are the only three issues that matter to the right. I can be poor as shit. I don't care. Give me my religion. Give me my baby that I can kill later with my gun. That's it. How uncomfortable do I have to get for you to be comfortable? Basically, in summation.
That in a nutshell is legality. That's the dichotomy of legality for anything. Like it works in this topic and with many other stuff, you know, like that's the point of the Constitution and its many interpretations is, you know, that's where, like the same thing with the mask mandate stuff, the exact same situation, because you have, when does freedoms of one group of people, you know what I mean, become an infringement on the freedoms of others, which becomes unconstitutional.
Are we getting into this again?
Ooh, I think there's a difference there.
I'm not thinking, well, okay, yeah.
Because you're looking at, when you're looking at the health of people, that's a lot different than me. I want to dress this way. I want to call myself a girl. Right. If I'm talking about, okay, my freedom
I'm just talking about the situation. Very like artificial.
Yeah, I know there's the argument. It's like you're infringing on my freedom of speech, my freedom of rights to as an American citizen. But that's bullshit. You don't have the right to endanger another human being.
Right.
And that's when you're talking about health-wise.
Yeah.
There's a line to be drawn. Any idiot that says, okay, I have the right to go.
Well, I mean, all of this is constitutionally the same argument is what I'm saying. The freedom of speech is just the same as the freedom of endangering someone else's health, because it's all in constitutional freedoms. They're all constitutionally given to us. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no one is more important than the other when you look at it from a legal standpoint. They're all the same. They're all your constitutional rights. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no one is different. They have different connotations. You know what I'm saying? But that's an individual perspective. You know what I mean? Like, but the Constitution is the Constitution. No part of it is better than the other part.
So it needs to be amended.
You know what I'm saying? Of course it does. That's the other thing. Like, it's gone for hundreds of years with what, 20-something amendments. 30 amendments, I think. There's a very small amount of amendments in the hundreds of years that it's been in effect. There's nothing saying that it's not time for some more amendments. You know what I mean? Like, it's just something to be reviewed. But, I mean, I don't know.
So I like to think of it like this. If there's like an ocean, right? Nothing? Okay. Anyway, there's an ocean. You haven't talked about the other day. I was expecting a reaction. I remember it.
The ocean? Go continue.
You know, okay. There's an ocean, right? And I like to think of the ocean and compare that to like society, right? Like going out into society, going into
the
ocean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
So okay. The same way that you can go into the ocean and with no protection, right? And you can drown. You know damn well you can drown.
Yeah.
I don't think it's society's fault that someone goes into society and takes no protection, gets a virus, and I feel like that's the person's fault for either taking the proper precautions to protect their own life or not to protect their own life.
What if the proper precautions include someone else using proper precautions? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, but you can
what
still take.
Like, what if my wearing a mask isn't enough to ensure my health? What if we both had to? I'm not saying that this is real. I'm not saying that I believe that it's necessary. I'm saying for the sake of this example, what if one mask wasn't enough, so you needed two? So that means that you don't want to, but for my health, you have to. Yeah. You see how that's infringing on both people's rights at the same time?
My
you know what I mean? That's why
action.
That's the only reason there's a legitimate argument, and it doesn't make sense because it comes back to what you were saying. It's a matter of public health, which is why I don't think that it should be debated. But you know what I mean? But the freedoms given to us in the Constitution allow us to be able to debate that, which is why we have this fucking problem with it.
But with the circumstances, it doesn't show that it is necessary.
That's why I said just for the sake of this example, if that was real. I'm not saying that we need to. Yeah, well, it was just for an example. Like, but you know what I mean? Like, because then you're making one person do it for another person on either side of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're saying, okay, like, so I'm not going to make these people wear one because that's their freedom. But then you have to go out there and you can't make them wear it either. So you can't really. It's not on you completely. You know what I'm saying? If something bad happens to you, if it involves if it involves two people working together, if that was the reality, I'm not saying that it is.
Yeah, I think it should be left up to companies.
And I think it should be
whoa.
I think it should be left up to people, to make up their own mind about it. Like just like it is with the vaccine. Listen, you have to weigh as an individual, a responsible individual. You have to decide. Okay, is the consequence of getting the vaccine worse than the consequence of getting COVID? For me.
Oh,
so there's no wrong answer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but so there's no wrong answer for that.
I was talking about mask mandates.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm trying to use something that's a little more applicable because it's actually real.
So
because the mask mandate, we know that I don't necessarily know that if you need to do that. But we do know the vaccines work, but I don't necessarily think everyone needs to take them. Does that make sense? Some people need that shit. That doesn't mean that everybody needs that shit. You know what I mean? There are people who the consequences of getting COVID could be way worse than the consequences of taking the vaccine. So you can't say it's wrong. I don't believe that. For that reason, I don't believe in a vaccine mandate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's right because not everyone needs to take it, but some people do. But then, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Some people have higher health risks.
Exactly. So you know what I mean? It is legit for some people. I don't think everybody needs to do that shit. I think that's crazy.
I think like minor inconveniences for the greater good.
I don't think it's a big deal.
Should be, I don't think that you should be able. My freedom of you're infringing upon my rights because you told me to wear a mask. Well, okay, we told you to wear a seatbelt. Right. Where's your outrage on that?
Right. It's not. That
we told you that you have to wear shoes in order to come into the establishment. Where's your outrage on that?
Oh, I'm outraged.
We told you to wear a shirt.
No seatbelt.
So it's like it's selective. It's selective.
My choice if my body goes through the window.
It's selective outrage. That's bullshit. Because as far as I know,
my body, my choice.
Every child born in America receives shots.
Right.
Every baby.
Yeah.
Every baby that's born in the hospital, they receive shots.
Yeah.
Where is the outrage on that? No, you get those shots, the polio shot, the typhoid shot, the tuberculosis shot. Where's your no? If I want tuberculosis, I should be able to get it. No.
Well,
you accept that mandate.
Right.
You accept the regulation, but now we're in the age of opposition. That's all it is.
Yeah.
The only reason why there's a resistance is because we're in the age of opposition. We don't have a platform. We don't have anything that we're trying to better anybody's life. All we're doing is resisting any kind of, anything that comes from the other side. That's it.
Well, we can all agree that like the vaccine that came out for COVID came out really fast.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, are you okay with the vaccine coming out that fast and you just like willy nilly taking it? Who took it?
I took it a couple months later. But the thing is, all right. So the people that are resisting taking the vaccine, their guy was the one that said, "Okay, I'm taking responsibility for it coming to market so quickly."
Right. Yeah.
How does that make sense?
One of his greatest accomplishments.
How does that make sense? This was me. I'm the reason why it came to market.
There's plenty of Democrats.
You're the same fault. No. The people that are resistant, the most resistant, the people that are
that's a great. Yeah.
What's going on in Canada right now? The truckers. Those aren't Democrats.
I don't even understand.
All that bullshit. Yeah. The people right now that are, I'm not taking the vaccine. I'm not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
These people, their guy is the one that's taking credit for the vaccine coming out. So you can't play both sides.
He is. At first he did.
No. He was the one that said as soon as it came out.
He did, but he didn't take it originally.
He
didn't push it, but he pushed the achievement, but he didn't push actually people taking it.
Well, first he denied that it was an issue. Drinks and bleach and all that. First he denied that it was an issue. But once it came out and it was like, okay, the numbers are going down. Let me take credit. I'm the reason why. Yeah. I'm the one. I pushed this.
No one's ever seen anything that fast.
You're playing both sides. You got the guy that's taking credit for it, and then you are the one that's resisting and saying, okay, the government is infringing upon my rights. It's bullshit. We're in the age of resistance. Every child is born, they get shots. When they're 6 months old, a year old, 2 years old, they get shots. You have no issue with it. Now, all of a sudden, now it's like, no, I'm an American. I'm not going to wear mask.
I've told people before, like, you know, like both of my parents were in the army. I lived around the world. I've had to take shots because I live in different countries.
Same here.
I've never had a problem with a vaccine in my life, dude. Not one. And I've had them for like years and years and years in different times in my life, all different, from being a baby on up. You know what I'm saying? Through adulthood, through adolescence, never had one adverse reaction to one of them, dude. But that could be different for someone else. You know what I mean? I'm not saying anyone's wrong. I'm just saying, like, statistically, they're not going to hurt.
It's a compounding issue. It's a compounding issue of bullshit. This is just
it's
another thing to just resist. That's all it's been.
Because think about it. Like, every time a new vaccine came out, there was probably a push against it. Every time a new one came out. Because it was new. This probably happens every single time, dude. Well, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not to this extent, because this time I feel like it's been crazier because of the age of technology that we have. The spread of information is way faster and more rampant. That makes it worse, but I feel like every time there was probably a resistance because it's like a human reaction to some shit where everyone's trying to say, take some shit. You know, like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of natural. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I know for me personally, like, being a hypochondriac, it's like it has no political background for me. Like, I couldn't give a shit less if it did or didn't. I just get spooked by, like, doctors.
And that's totally understandable, man. Like, that's understandable.
But I understand what you're saying about the fact that it's all, they're just most of them aren't worried to get the vaccine. They're just trying to be, like, polarized. They're trying to be as polarized as possible. They're trying to oppose.
Is it an assertion kind of thing? Like,
yeah, because if you think there's no group of people that should be more afraid of vaccines than black people. Because we've had the Tuskegee experience. We've had all these different things that have gone on where, let's try to sort this out. Let's take these group of people, we're going to inject them with this stuff to see if it works. If not, we were used as guinea pigs.
Syphilis, bro.
Okay? Syphilis, all this bullshit. AIDS, all this bullshit. So there's no group of people that should be more skeptical of vaccines than the black community. However, none of them are going and saying, okay, we're going to drive our trucks and block the interstate. We're going to do this and we're not going to do this. No. Who is doing the resisting is the people that have been in power. The people that have been running the show from day one. And it's all it is. This is another opposition tactic. It's not that we really care about the vaccines.
Yeah, because you look at the statistics of the thing in Canada, like, my understanding is that the reporting is 90% of the trucking union is vaccinated.
Yeah, exactly. They have
like 10% of
and the ones that are doing the protesting are the owners.
Yeah.
They're not even the workers. They're fucking, most of you are vaccinated.
That
sounds
so crazy. Like,
so it's not a matter of, okay, I have an issue with vaccinations. It's a matter of, okay, I just don't like being told what the do.
Well, in that case, since it's only 10%, I have a quote from a wise man that once told this to me. You can't make the rules for the exception. Like, in which, like, pushing the vaccination.
If everyone, if everyone's doing it, are you gonna do it? No. So it's a small minority, but they're making such a noise.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. They were the people who, like, these are the types of people who tell their kids, like, oh, if you see everybody else jump off a cliff, are you going to do it? Do you remember that saying? You remember when that used to be said? Like, these are the same types of people who are doing this. So, I mean, I feel like it made...
I can't believe there's people that...
It's resistance. It's resistance for the sake of resisting.
And just like, yeah, you know, that's about it.
It's just resistance for the sake of resistance. It's not based on any kind of intelligence. It's not based on any kind of facts. It's just stupid. I saw something on a
politicized. Because of it being politicized. I wouldn't say that's like, if it were a deadlier virus, I'd say it's really stupid. But I mean, what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I agree.
If it were deadlier virus, you would say it was what?
Be really stupid. But it's not that deadly of a virus, and I feel like it's.
Now,
but it doesn't matter. So what is the resistance? What is the point of such opposition? Saying, okay, you have to wear a mask. That's the question.
Well,
That's
to
a
give
good
to not give satisfaction to the people who are trying to push it.
But
It's
but
that
what's
extreme.
the point of- what's the point
It is
of
kind of
This is the start of the
It is kind
freaking
of
Gestapo, and
But
we're
when
going to
has-
be
when has it
martial
not
law.
been extreme?
Hey, gazpacho.
Gazpacho, yes, my bad. My bad. Yes, gazpacho.
But when has
Yes.
it not been
Delicious.
extreme?
Marty Taylor,
When-
dumbass green.
When has it not been extreme though? The politicized world, the politics today. When has it
Okay.
not been extreme?
When
They
has
had
any-
some crazy shit?
When has any of the extreme shit that they said was going to happen here in America?
In what?
They're going to take your guns. They're going to take your guns.
I'm talking about the reactions. I'm not talking. No. So what I'm saying is like, think about like with Obama, they were doing wild, outlandish shit to like try and tear Obama down. Trump comes along, they did wild, outlandish shit to try to tear Trump down. And then,
Ooh, okay. All right.
It just keeps going.
So we're making those comparisons. All right. Let's just start with the who and then the what. Who did wild, outlandish things to tear Obama down, and then what did they do? Let's start there.
yeah, they did really fucked
Who?
up racist shit. And it
So
was
who?
the right.
Who?
The right.
The right.
Conservatives.
And then
yes.
what did they do to tear
They
him
did
down?
racist, outlandish shit.
Like what?
Like
Special.
having pictures of Obama hung and lit on fire and calling him the Antichrist and there's tons of other ones. I just can't really remember them all at the moment.
What about the politicians? What did they do?
I don't remember. That was a little too
Did
far back.
any of the politicians support any of his, agenda?
On the right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Why not?
They held him back. They held him back as far as like him trying to pass stuff. They didn't agree with what he was doing. They were trying to be.
What
They were
was he
trying. They're trying to oppose and be difficult
Why?
because they didn't like what he was doing and who he was.
What was he trying to do?
Trying to do things they weren't for.
Didn't like him?
I'm not sure. So,
still-
like, this, I'm just observing on a very topical
but
level. I don't-
that is kind of part of the problem, because we try to equate and put the opposition on equal footing to say, okay, well, the right opposed Obama, the left opposed Trump, but we don't go into the details. What was Obama doing? What were the policies that Obama was
No,
putting
no,
forward?
I understand all that, and I totally I'm not like for the right or anything, but what I'm saying is that it keeps getting worse and worse. Each president, each time there's a polarization of the presidents and stuff, it keeps getting like more and more outlandish and crazy, and it's gotten to the point where we're like, oh, we don't trust the which I've never trusted doctors, but only because I'm a hypochondriac. Well, I trusted doctors, and then I don't know. My hypochondria got worse, and it didn't. But anyway, my point being is that it's like we've gotten to the point where we're just totally dismissing any medical facts, and we're
Who is?
the right, the conservatives.
Okay.
But you have to look at. The left was doing crazy shit too. They thought like the world was gonna end. We were gonna, Trump was gonna be Hitler, and that he was gonna
No. The world never.
gulags and.
The left never thought that Trump was going to.
Well,
the world was going to end under
I'm
Trump.
being hyperbolic by the word. Well, no, they were saying actually, like nuclear war was going to happen. He was going.
Well, that's because we were talking. That's because Trump was talking about all this other excess bullshit. It wasn't just like, oh, we're conspiracy theorists. No, Trump was talking about, okay, we're going to do this. There was a potential of Russia starting World War III based on actions and conversations from Trump. Trump was when he was calling freaking Kim Jong-il freaking Rocket Man and all this other excess bullshit, and the conversation initially before they became besties, and oh, he loves me, I love him, blah, blah, blah. Initially, when Trump was interacting with North Korea, he was like trying to be hard man, and North Korea wasn't budging. That's when they became besties. So all his spontaneous, I'm the shit motherfucker action, that was what making people think, okay, we could be on the verge of another world war. It wasn't just like, okay, Trump is in office, we're going to war. No,
people feel like we're on the verge of we were going to be on the verge of another war with Obama getting in, and they thought
because those are the religious right wing idiots.
Right.
Oh, this is the end times. God is coming back. So there's a difference. That's the thing that you can't. They're not comparable. If I'm looking at from from your actions,
They
you know,
are
your how
similar.
you're. No. If I'm saying, okay,
Comparable.
people were downing Obama and calling him the Antichrist.
That's
The
different.
Antichrist,
Yeah,
that's all religious
way
bullshit.
worse.
Every single adversary against Obama, everything from the right against Obama was simply because he was black, and simply because they assumed he was a Muslim, and simply because it was coming from the extremist right wing, and he was Democrat. That's it. It wasn't based on any kind of factual evidence or anything like that. Oh, he's a Muslim. Oh, he's the Antichrist. He's XYZ, so and so. All that opposition, our number one goal is to make Obama a one-term president. That's what Mitch McConnell said. Day one. They had a meeting. Day one. We're not doing anything to better the American people's lives. Our job is to make him a one-term president so that we can take power back. Just the other day, they asked Mitch McConnell, so if you guys win back power in the midterm elections, this is 2022. What's your agenda? Oh, we'll decide that once we take power. They have no agenda.
No, and that's but what I'm saying is that the only point I'm trying to make is that, like, because of the polarization, I understand that, like, I'm not like for the right or anything.
I'm not saying that you are, but I'm saying that you can't compare the two. The opposition against one is not the same as the opposition against the other.
Is what I'm saying. I'm speaking from a part of like watching how Republicans react to Democrats and everything. They can see the similarities, and they are upset, and they are trying to be like the, you know, disruptive child of the family, like the black sheep. They're trying to you know, give as much opposing or opposition as possible, and they're trying to be as disruptive. And what's the word you were using earlier? They're trying to be as like
Opposition.
Yeah, you had a word you were using though. Anyway, point being, I mean, they're just being, you know, and they see it as whenever, you know, Trump got in and they were everybody was saying all this stuff about Trump and everything. They were all, you know, like, you know, pretty shocked by how everybody was reacting. People screaming in the streets, and the, you know, the riots after, or not riots per se. I guess you could consider it a riot some sort of way, but the riots after the inauguration, and like there's just a bunch.
Whose inauguration? Obama's or Trump's?
That's what I'm saying. Is the right sees this stuff, and they're like, they are. I think they're like trying to react sensitively to it because they want something. I almost feel like they. I mean, also not to mention, a lot of it was really cringe. I was at the inauguration. I saw some really cringy shit of people, like that one lady in the green jacket who was screaming and stuff.
At Trump's inauguration?
Yeah. Have you ever seen the videos of it? Anyway, there was a lot of cringe videos that came out of that, but yeah, I mean, it just there was a lot of stuff that happened that like everybody was overreacting, and like I feel like that upset everybody on the right because it just wasn't. It was so hyperbolic, and it was so, you know, not realistic that they felt offended in a way, or like offended, I guess, because like it made everybody on the right look like monsters. They've been called racists, and as a lot of them are, but well, a lot of them, not all of them, you know. I mean, like there are some people who believe that the capitalist agenda is you know, a good economic idea. You know, other things that are going on, mostly because they're, you know, of corporations or etc. But I mean, yeah, there's that's pretty much all I gotta say about it. Is I've seen the like give and take in all of it, and I've been on both sides watching each side react to each other, and it's just a bunch of childish shit at this point, if I have to say.
So there were,
and it really started with Obama, I'll say. Oh no, well, yeah, it started with Obama for sure.
When the divide happened is after 43 white men holding that office eventually won black man was able to slip through the gap.
That's racist. That's absolutely racist and f***ed up that they would like react this strongly about somebody who's.
And so on day one, you had a political party say, we're not going to do anything to help you. Our whole agenda is to get you out of office. No one looked at that and said, okay, oh, well, they're burning effigies of Obama. They got nooses around his neck. America's not racist. We're not racist. You bring up race. Oh, you're playing the race card.
Yeah.
Like, how am I playing the race card when you're showing a noose around the president's neck?
Yeah. You make it very valid.
You're burning effigies of the president of the United States. So there was 8 years of that intense racial tension because oh shit, we're losing our country. And so when Trump came in, it wasn't a matter of okay, I'm going to build a wall to keep out the others. All right, we're going to take back our country. And we're going to make America great again by making it exclusive.
I've never thought about it this way.
The others.
That's a good point.
So when you had all this bullshit coming up, when you look at the protests that occurred when Obama got in office, those were exclusive to America. Those were white people in America saying, we oppose Obama. He's Muslim. He's I thought politics is supposed to be separation of church and state. So it doesn't matter if he's Islam, he's Christian, he's Jewish, he's atheist. It shouldn't matter. We're supposed to be separation of church and state. But you promoted he's Muslim. Why? Because that puts in the head of the racist people in the Middle East or the Midwest in America that he's not white.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you had that. All the animosity towards Obama was centralized to America. You say, okay, there were protests when Trump got into office. That wasn't exclusive to America. There were protests around the world against Trump. There were people around the world saying, this is not who we need, because America's the leader of the free world. This is not a guy we can get behind. When Trump got into office, our allies said, we have to look to other countries, to other places for leadership. We can no longer rely on America to be the leader of the free world, to be the leader of democracy. They didn't say that under Obama. They said that under Trump. So the opposition against Trump was completely different from the opposition against Obama. It wasn't because, oh, this is a white guy. No, this is a guy that doesn't have any morals. This is a guy that's not showing that he's looking out for democracy, that he's looking out for the American people, that he's looking out for his allies. Because what did he do? He sided with Russia instead of his allies. He was calling out Germany. Angela Merkel, he had more harsh criticism for Angela Merkel than he had for Vladimir Putin. He had more criticism for freaking Justin Trudeau than he had for Kim Jong-il. Oh, Kim Jong-il, that's my bestie. I love him. So our allies were like, we can't even trust America to have our back when we go into any kind of conflict. Because the guy sitting at the head of the table is proving himself to be an enemy of the state. So it's not because, oh, we hate Trump because he's black. Oh, we hate Trump because, no, this is a rich white guy. Welcome to America. But we can't trust you because of how you've presented yourself, the things that you've said. That's the difference between the opposition against Obama and the opposition against
But here's the
Trump.
Thing is that the right is not going to see that. What they're going to
Of course they're not.
Yeah.
Because we can't even acknowledge that there's a problem in America.
We have to bring it into the right's point of view, though. We can't just leave them to keep doing this because it's going to keep fucking.
There's no bringing it into the right's point of view because they don't want to even acknowledge that there's an issue. Racism is a issue in America, and the right don't want to acknowledge that. But all they see is every issue that they have. You have religion, Christianity versus Muslim. Versus Islam. All right, that's it. Christianity versus Islam. You have birth versus abortion. And then you have guns versus no guns. Those are the only three issues that matter to the right. I can be poor as shit. I don't care. Give me my religion. Give me my baby that I can kill later with my gun. That's it. Name another issue. No. Name another issue that a Republican runs on.
No. I'm saying,
name another issue that Republicans run on. If that's hyperbole, give me the border. Okay, a border. The border.
The mafia, the Mexican cartel.
The border. The border is just to keep the others out, so we can make America white again. That's it.
Essentially.
Yeah. So that's it. So those four things.
Well, so I wouldn't say to make America white again. I've heard some arguments from the right in which I can kind of see where, you know, they don't want the cartel getting into America, and so that's something they're worried about.
Has that been an issue?
That's what they say on the news.
On Fox.
I've heard it on NBC and CBS and stuff too.
When has the cartel been a threat? A serious threat?
To America? No, I'm good. I mean, I can't think of any, but what I'm saying is like back in the day, there was a little bit of
Back in the day.
Yeah, I don't remember how far back in the day, but
long time back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, 5-6 years ago, maybe.
5-6 years ago.
I remember hearing stuff about 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay, continue.
Well, okay, so yeah, I mean, it's I mean, the border's always been an issue, and because of like the cartel and everything, it's that's one of the main reasons they want to keep the border strong, is because they're worried about cartel members bringing drugs in and this and that, and which I totally don't give a shit about. We should honestly just legalize it all. So I'm on a totally different side of the spectrum, but what I'm saying is that that's what they think. That's what they see it. At least that's what some of them see it as. I'm sure that others see it as they don't want, you know, Mexicans taking their drugs and whatever the else they're thinking. But
how many of these I'm worried about the drug cartel people actually take drugs?
Probably a good amount.
So if you take drugs, then would you want the drugs to come across?
That's probably not the personality that they're trying to display to the world. So that's not, you know, they're probably trying to act like goody two shoes and everything, and you know, and plus actually it keeps drugs high whenever it's illegal and everything. But I mean, there are people who do, you know, partake in everything and certain things that they believe should be illegal, and they're still against the, you know, all that because of how the news media has painted the Mexican cartel to look. They've painted them to look extremely violent.
So what if I told you that more drugs come in from the northern border than it does the southern?
That's agreeable because there's a lot of weed up in Canada.
Okay, so why are we only trying to build a border on the southern border?
Well, there's like cocaine and stuff that comes through Mexico, and meth and other.
But if I'm fighting drugs, you know, and I'm saying the reason why I want a border is to keep the drugs out, but I know I get more drugs coming to the country from the northern border than the southern border, then what is the logical reason for me fighting for a southern border?
Well, weed's a different. Okay, so two things. First of all, weed's a totally different animal when it comes to drugs. And second off, like I said, the quote unquote what the news media says, violent nature of people from the southern border. You don't hear Canada.
Well, they say that they're saying black people are more prone to violence.
Canadians just apologize and, like, you know, drink whiskey and whatnot. But
okay, I'm sorry, but here's some cocaine.
Yeah,
I'm more gentle, but here's some cocaine. I'm trying to keep out the drugs. Is it the drugs or is it the people?
Oh yeah. Well, I guess in that sense, yeah, it's the people.
Okay, so the drug argument is total bullshit.
But they're okay. So sure.
So you said it's not make America white again, but it is. The main thing was the
cartel. My main point was the cartel. But I mean, drugs and the cartel are the same difference in a sense to Republicans. So when they see the issue, they see it as one. They don't see it as a split issue where there's more drugs coming from the north, they see it as, oh my God, there's violent people who are bringing drugs into the southern border of America, and we have to keep our families and our suburbs safe.
Why
is
is
like
that?
the whole idea.
Why is that their idea? Why is that ignorant? I got to focus on. There's more drugs over here, but I'm going to focus on the drugs over here. Why?
Well,
why
because
is that?
there's a perception, quote unquote,
Where's that
of
perception
danger
come from?
of the media, from the media.
What media?
Well, like I said, for the most part, right now it's all Republican media, but Democrat media in the past has covered on the fact.
So if we look at the media,
on like gang wars and stuff down there,
we look at the media and we see, okay, one media is focused on propaganda and madness of, again, just like with the Republican politicians, my whole focus isn't to actually give you any kind of policy, give you any kind of answers. All it is to feed you propaganda, to keep you in fear. Name a Republican policy that was for the people.
Well, there's a lot of things they think like it's perceived as for the people. So, like, okay, guns are for the people.
How does that benefit? How does that make American lives better? Okay, I got a gun. How is that going to make my life better?
You can protect yourself, self-preservation.
And protect myself from what?
From threats. From
Okay,
any
so
threats
what,
you deem.
all right, are we living in? So okay, so name a country that's like chaotic, where there's a lot of like danger. There's a lot of
well, just to humor the fact that I'm coming from what is it? Devil's advocate point of view from the Republican side. Let's just say Mexico.
Okay, so Mexico. Okay, so Mexico is a very dangerous place.
Sure.
All right. Do they have more guns than we have?
No.
Okay, they don't. Okay, so name another country that's dangerous.
God, Iraq, Iran.
All right.
I don't know.
So they're dangerous. Okay, why do you think that they're dangerous? What makes
because because of their religion and how strongly they feel about the way they were brought up in it. So I mean, yeah, that's their convictions. That's their religious convictions, basically.
Okay,
yeah,
so you mentioned two countries that are more dangerous than America that don't have the guns that we have, but you're saying Americans need all these guns.
Well, here's the thing. So right, they don't have the guns that we have, but Mexican cartel carry the majority of the guns compared to the rest of the inhabitants of Mexico, and then so as well do the like ISIS and everything compared to the inhabitants of Iraq, Iran, etc., etc.
Okay, so statistically, is there any country outside of America that has more gun violence?
No, probably
per
not.
capita. Okay. So, is there any country outside of America that has per capita more guns owned by the citizens?
No.
Okay, so you're saying that there's no country that has more gun violence, so violence carried out by guns, and there's no country that has more guns per private citizen. So basically, Americans owning guns does not make Americans safer, because we still have more gun violence than any other country in the world.
Right.
So that means that we don't need the guns. So the guns don't do anything to protect the American people.
In a sense, but at the same time, you have to remember that we're on a way larger scale than everybody else.
No, I'm talking about per capita. So it's not a larger scale.
So this is what I'm. So just hold on. So we're on a larger scale. Everybody has guns. There are people who are trigger happy. Things happen with guns where people are being threatened, or people feel like they're being threatened, or they feel like their life is in danger, and they end up reacting, and something happens. And there are certain ways that other ways are like
Are there any countries in the world that have a larger population than America? We have 300 plus million people. China has over 3 times.
They don't have guns. They're not.
No. Whoa.
I mean, they have.
Okay. No. Hey, China has 3 times more. They're plus 3 times the population as America. But you're saying that I asked specifically, what do Republicans stand for that actually benefits the American people? You said guns.
Yes.
You said that benefits the American people. All right, but then you said we have the higher crime rate when it comes to guns. So that doesn't benefit the American people. More people dying from guns, more people being injured from guns. That doesn't benefit the American people. So that kills that argument. But then you said, okay, we have statistically, we have, so if China has 3 times as many people, but they have a lower crime rate and they have fewer guns, then again, that goes against your argument that guns are a good thing for the American people.
Here's another argument. The westernization of society it's way worse. China's not westernized.
It doesn't matter. We're not talking about Western. We're not talking about their government. We're talking about. I specifically said.
I'm talking about
policy.
I'm talking about society, because it plays a role. There's a lot of circumstances that get into this, and that plays a role. The westernization of society plays a role, specifically when there is.
So Westerners are more barbaric. But go on.
That's agreeable.
So go on.
Okay. So you have right. China's not as westernized as the West, as America, right? I'm sure there are crimes over there, but the crime rate is not as high. They're taught different morals. They have more. What was it that I was saying the other day that religious people have that people without religion don't have most of the time, or sometimes at least? They have more, not structure.
I don't know. Unity.
They have
Common belief. Come on.
Like where they're religious, they're doing something on a daily basis,
productive.
routine. Like a routine. They have more
ritualistic.
Anyway, point being that they're far more better structured than America will ever be. America has so many problems going on right now that I would say we don't need guns, but as well, there's so many eyes on America, and America is so. I feel like there's so many. Okay, so let's think about it this way too. So you said that Americans, the right, everybody who's Republican is racist. Would you?
I didn't say.
Well, no. I'm sorry. I didn't put words in your mouth.
Now that's hyperbolic.
Yeah. But to prove a point, would you say that most Americans are that most Americans can't handle guns, and that we're not responsible? Would you believe most of the Eastern opinions on America? Because I would. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I think America is quite a shitty place when it comes to the type of people who.
All right, so we've really shifted, because I asked specifically what I said. Republicans don't have any policies that benefit the American people.
And we talked about guns, and
I asked you, and you said that the first things you brought up was guns, which is one of the things that I mentioned before. You need to protect my gun, protect my religion, protect my baby so I can kill it later with my guns. And then you said the border. All right. So really, there's no Republican policy that has benefited the American people. Thank you for confirming that.
Well, no, it's still not confirmed. I still think guns.
Right.
We're still on the argument of guns. I mean, there's a long rabbit hole of circumstances and situations.
There's no argument that says guns are a benefit to the American people. There's no argument. I just gave you 10 minutes to prove to me that guns benefit the American people. 10 minutes
isn't long enough. There's so many.
But you didn't even mention anything that says, okay, guns benefit the American people. Because you said there's no country that has more gun violence than America. So that means that guns are killing Americans. And you said that China, which has 3 times the population, has lower gun violence, but they don't. Okay, so.
But if they had guns, then
So how does it benefit more Americans dying from guns? How is that a benefit to the American people?
It benefits the Americans who are
not getting shot by guns. How does gun violence in America benefit?
It benefits the if you will, true American people, or whatever, if you want to say it that way.
Who are the true American people?
Like the people who believe in the American dream and are like, we need to protect our families.
Are not people that are born in America Americans? What the fuck is this ideology? What American dream?
Well, I'm explaining it from a Republican's I'm not. This isn't what I.
But don't you see that as a problem? It's like, okay, how am I not a true American?
Of course, I see it as a problem. But what I'm saying is that that's how they see it. I'm trying to fight from the devil's advocate.
So make it make sense then, because there's
making
no.
As much
At
sense
some
as I
point, you
can
just
of
have to
it.
accept I'm the devil. It's not I'm an advocate. I'm just the devil. You know, if I can't make the bullshit that I'm spouting make sense, then I'm just the fucking devil. If I'm saying, okay, well, you know, I'm a true patriot because I believe that you have to always stand for the flag. You have to always, you know, take this, or you have to be a Christian. That doesn't make you a fucking American. I defend my country. I served in the Navy as a fucking officer. I put my life on the line going into war zones. You know, I might be a Muslim. Am I less American?
No.
Because I went to a war zone, I joined the military. You didn't join the military. You were just a farmer.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm not saying for you specifically. I'm not saying for you specifically.
Yeah.
I'm saying like these people, the ideology that you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
I have these ideologies. I have these thoughts. Okay, I have to be a Christian. I have to have an American flag hanging outside my house.
I would agree. They're not the devil's advocate. They are the devils. I totally agree. That's why I'm saying I'm playing.
Yeah, exactly. You're playing the devil's advocate. It's like at some point, it's like you're the fucking devil, because America is supposed to represent diversity. You know, we're supposed to welcome diversity. We're supposed to welcome people from different religions, different backgrounds. The only thing is, if I'm living in this country, because America is a house. All right, you come to my house and you threaten me and my family, my American family, then I'm taking up arms against you. I should not be taking up arms against people in my house. It's like me, you, and Chris, you know, coming. Like, I'm gonna kill you, but no, motherfucker, we live in the same place. I should be defending you. Anybody come to the door, it's us against them. We can have disagreements and arguments and everything like that, but we still are Americans. That's my issue. Like, okay, I don't have to subscribe to your religious beliefs. I don't have to believe that, you know, your football team is the best team. I don't have to like the kind of drinks that you like. I don't have to dress the way you dress. But I respect you as someone that's living in my house, living in my country. But when you say, okay, you are an outsider, even though I'm in your country, get out, go back to your country. None of us are from here other than the freaking Native Americans that you try to exterminate.
Right.
Everyone else is from a different country. Why can't we just respect each other? We're here. Let's live together and respect each other and love each other and have that American pride. Whatever religion you want to subscribe to, have it. You want to have a flag outside your house, American flag? Great. If you want to have a freaking LGBT flag, all right, great. I'm not gay or whatever, but do your thing. I still love you as an American. And if anyone comes to our shores and say, okay, we're going to take over America, we're going to band together and push them back. That's what we should be at. It should be all this fucking random, trivial bullshit. And that's why I say, okay, what is this party bringing to the American people to say, okay, this is how I'm going to make your life better as an American. A gun is not going to make the American people's lives better.
Well, that's what they perceive it as, is what I'm saying, though. They see it as like, oh, our gun rights need to be conserved because otherwise people in America would just run rampant and do crazy shit and all that.
Is it realistic? Is it realistic that America, if
so okay, so I am in a sense pro gun, but not like pro. I'm not crazy pro gun.
Murder weapon, you know. Let's have a weapon that can kill 30 people in 30 seconds. Oh yeah, have a gun to protect your house. We've had this conversation before.
I'm pro assault rifle in a sense, but like I said, so I think in America we need to focus more on the mental stability of America, the mental illnesses. We need to focus more on everybody's like
mental state.
Therapy and mental.
Yeah, we've had this conversation.